What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the grand finals of GEST June. I am B-Ball and bring you Game 2 of the series. Spoiler alert, if you have not watched Game 1, please go back and watch Game 1. It was not the longest game in the book, but I'll give you the spoiler to that Game 1 in 3, 2, 1. So, iZone took it very convincingly with the superior mid-game lineup, and I think Badburn, they just got completely outpicked. And we've seen some of my other Badburn casts, or Pacific.Badburn rather. I should probably pimp out their sponsors a bit more, Pacific Esports. But yeah, if you've seen my other Pacific.Badburn casts, you can see that they pretty much dominate every team that they go up against. But just the picking phase was just so ridiculous for iZone. And unfortunately, it was an AP remix, so we couldn't go through all the band. But looks like this game is in fact a Captain's Old game, and we're going to see Techie's opening band. You might be like, lol, what? But actually, Badburn has certainly made their mark in this tournament with the back of Techie's, played by a stand-in player. I still cannot remember his name, and that's really bad of me. But yeah, so Techie's is going to be the first band by iZone, just really eliminating Orange's effectiveness and just gonna remove him from the equation altogether. Not Techie's pick, rather. I'm sure Orange is completely competent as a player. So actually, this is actually bothering me quite a bit. So I'm gonna pause it right now during the captain's phase and look up his name. Alright, I'm back. The techie specialist. The stand-in for Badburn is Nico. So I knew it was Nino or Nijo, but it's actually Nico. So my bad to you, Nico, for not remembering your name, but hopefully everybody remembers your name after your magnificent techies in two of those other games that you can find on my channel. But we're going to see the Invoker, Lycanthrope also being banned. You can notice that I'm not fast forwarding on 2x speeds, as is the case in the Filipino games that I've casted before this. I think I've casted enough Filipino games at this point so that from this tournament, so I can sort of reassess. I have a pretty good indication of what they're going to pick and what they're going to ban. And already we're going to see probably a Naga Siren going to be the next ban, if not a Batrider, so I expect a Naga Siren to be the next ban, because we already see Templar Assassin Invoker, very con picks, and I'm going to see a Shaodun ban by iZone. Shaodun was not very useful in that last game, being played on the Badburn side by Inma, but it looks like iZone, they respect Inma's Shaodun enough. That disruption setting allies is just so annoying to deal with. So Shaodun is going to be the next ban, and unfortunately for Shaodun, he doesn't receive too much levels in the early game because he's played so often in the tri lane, but he's still just a very effective hero in terms of keeping his allies alive through the use of the disruption, stacking Shadow Poison, Soul Catchers, always seems to hit a hero in every engagement. So overall, a decent ban, although there are other heroes like Naga Siren, Furion, heroes like that, who I think I might have used the ban on before I picked Furion, or picked Shao Demon. Looks like Inma is going to take a little bit of time to think about the next ban. He might want to ban the Panda because he just caused so much havoc on the side of iZone, and Panda is still a very much feared hero in both Dota 1 and Dota 2 scenes, so Panda would not be too surprising a ban. Batrider also could be the next ban, so still a lot of choices in the bank. And I know I have a lot of Peanut viewers, but why do we not see Queen of Pain being banned ever? Because she's literally in every game. She's like the windrunner of the European scene, and we still see windrunner a lot in the Southeast Asian scene. But Queen of Pain just has such a momentum-based hero, and I think I might answer my own question. Because Peanuts like to play as a farmer, and if you put up the tri lane against her, like we saw iZone do against Badburn in the last game, she really can't do too much, so her squishiness and her nukes really need to be at a high level. Her squishiness makes her extremely susceptible to ganks. And I see an Omni Knight ban being picked up by Inma, pretty surprising, but I guess they knew that they wanted to give away the Naga Siren. They already picked up Earthshaker. Going to deal with the Naga Siren illusions quite effectively through the use of that Echo Slam, doing a lot of damage to those illusions. So Earthshaker, not a very unsurprising pick. I expect to see an Ancient Apparition falling. We often see, we see the Ancient Apparition immediately falling right after the Earthshaker. Such a deadly tri-lane combination. And Ancient Apparition and Earthshaker, unlike in the European scene, we see those every game in the Filipino scene. In fact, I'm sure one of those heroes was the ban in the last game, but unfortunately, never gonna tell. Sand King Winrar getting picked up by iZone. Sand King has seen a bit of resurgence of late in the Southeast Asian scene. Before this tournament, I have not seen him too much, as we see the usual spam in the Filipino chat, just trolling each other mad hard. As GG gods, it's just like, guys, chill, chill. I've been probably casting all day. I'm very tired, and I need a nap. Shout out to gods. And shout out to Ghost Gamers on that, along with Gigabyte for putting on this monthly tournament so we can still enjoy quality Dota 1 action. Unfortunately, Chinese Dota 1 replays, although there's still $42,000 G League going on in Chinese scene, the Chinese just don't release replays, so I'm gonna have to keep bringing you Southeast Asian Dota 1 replays. And if you want another replay casted by me, feel free to send them to me at bball773@gmail.com. But we're gonna see a Dragon Knight being picked by Inma, so Inma gonna go for the Dragon Knight, gonna really eliminate his mid-soul option risk, because we're definitely gonna see a Dragon Knight in the mid-soul lane. Gonna go for that bottle into the Lothar's edge and just provide a lot of initiation, go a lot of tankiness. And just in terms of the Badburn lineup, they definitely have a lot more range in the form of the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast, in form of the Fissure, providing a lot of range and stunning power through there. They have a lot of tankiness in the form of the Dragon Knight, so overall going for a much safer lineup rather than their aggressive Axe at Baton lineup that really needs to focus on their opponents just not playing very well, in my honest opinion. I don't think Axe and Aban are good enough heroes that you can just outright outplay your opponents and win with them. Darkseer is the ban for iZone, gonna eliminate a lot of the teamfight potential. They definitely are worried about the vacuum into the Echo Slam, Ice Blast, Fire Breath combination, and also Darkseer is just a very annoying hero to deal with. His Surge just makes chasing completely ineffective, and we all know how much the Pinoys love to chase each other. Krob is the next ban, pretty unusual. I haven't seen Krob making the ban pool as of late, but I guess AoE silence, and maybe they just don't want to deal with that pushing power. Maybe they want to go for a bit more of a late game lineup, which can definitely be the case in this situation. And Krob pushes towers like very few other heroes. So Krob, it's a reasonable ban, definitely more of a counter pick ban, and protecting their lineup, they might want to go for a bit more late game. I expect another semi-carry to be picked up by the Badburn side. Beastmaster definitely seen a lot more play recently in both Southeast Asian and European scenes in Dota 1 and Dota 2 respectively, so him being banned is not too surprising. Morphling, a carry who's very, very, very strong in both scenes as well, in Dota 1 and in Dota 2, and as I always harp, the burst damage waveform really, you cannot underestimate it. It's pretty ridiculous how much damage that waveform can do. And the second most important thing about a carry is that he has to be able to survive, and Morphing can just do that like very few other carries can. So Morphing, not too surprising of a ban, but that still leaves a lot of picks open. We're going to see Rubik being picked up by iZone, going for a very, very mid-game based lineup. The Pinoys don't really like to build Naga to very late game status. I mean, we saw the Naga in a couple games where she got ridiculous for Manta, Heart, Radiance, just ridiculous. And we're going to see Axe being picked up once more, this time by iZone. Maybe they think they can use Axe a bit better than Badburn, so I'm not really too sure how they're going to pick up. Maybe they think that, okay, Axe will shut down the Dragon Knight in the mid lane, and we can leave Naga with the tri-lane with the Rubik and Sand King winner farm the top lane up against their top solo, which is going to be the Puck, and we can win the lanes that way. So Axe is definitely a counter pick to a melee solo mid, so maybe we're going to see a different solo mid being picked up by the Badburn squad. They have the essence of their tri-lane, and they have their top lane solo, so the other two pieces are interchangeable, but I expect a harder carry, a harder semi-carry to be picked up by Badburn, maybe here with a bit more AoE. Yeah, so we're just waiting on Baron to decide what they pick up. Actually, they pick up Shadow Fiend as of late, so Shadow Fiend might not be too outrageous of an option, so that's just my guess. They don't like to go extremely late, they don't like to go like Phantom Lance or Spectre or anything like that, but I do expect them to pick up some AoE and a carry who can protect themselves quite well in lane. One of the weaknesses of Shadow Fiend in the Pino scene is that he's extremely immobile, he needs a decent amount of items, he gets ganked very easily by heroes like Batrider, and he just gets outlaned by heroes like that, by Invoker, Shadow Demon, and stuff like that, and we're going to see the Shadow Fiend being picked up as well, and the presence of, the omnipresent presence of Bottle Crowing just makes his Shadow Raises not do too much damage. One of the strengths of Shadow Fiend in the lane is that he can just push very, very aggressively with the raises and then just secure himself the runes that way, but Bottle Crowing Sword just makes it obsolete. So we're going to see a Shadow Fiend in the main lane, and Dragon Knight is going to be protected on the tri-lane by the Earthshaker and the Puck, or by the Earthshaker and the Ancient Apparition. Puck is going to be on the top lane, so just interesting players. We're going to have Nico playing that Puck. He is a stand-in. I don't know if he's an official member of Badburn yet, but during this tournament he was a stand-in. Gonna have Inma playing the Earthshaker, a very, very strong support player. Has definitely opened up a lot of my... He's definitely opened up my eyes. Hopefully he's opened up your eyes as well. Plays a fantastic Omni Knight, Shadow Demon. His disruptions are always, always top-notch. Don playing that Ancient Apparition. Byabas playing that Dragon Knight. And we're gonna have Zhutan playing that Shadow Fiend. So let's see how Zhutan can handle himself up against an Axe, most likely. And this is clearly not the lane matchup that iZone was expecting. They were expecting the Dragon Knight to be handling the Axe in mid lane, and unfortunately he's facing a ranged hero. He's facing a hero that once he gets enough souls, he can last hit very easily. He has Shadow Races to go for a very easy farm, so Battle Hunger and Counter Helix Harassment will not be too effective, so just a complete counter pick against that Axe. As we're going to see, even playing that, or Ven playing that Naga Siren, Kel playing the Rubik, YHN playing the Axe, and playing the Sand King, and Pole playing the Windrunner. And we're going to see dual lanes by the iZone side, and we're going to see dual lanes in the Pinoy game. The people using dual lanes always lose, so I'm not really too sure how this works out. Maybe they think they can win if they get enough experience to their advantage. Maybe they think their Shadow Fiend is going to be the challenge, but nope, now they're going to see Shadow Fiend is in fact soloing the mid lane. Earthshaker is going to protect him for a bit until he picks up those souls so he can last it with relative impunity and just secure himself the lane that way. Unfortunately, you can see Axe cannot go up to Shadow Fiend to harass and catch some counter helix procs through the creep aggro. So that is going to be a bit ineffective, and we're going to see Shadow Fiend slowly but surely picking up those souls and just make Axe's life completely miserable. I wonder why the Pinoys like to pick Axe so much these days. He's an okay hero. I don't know if he works very well in their metagame. I guess he's a decent chaser. He's picked up Berserker's Call rather than the Battle Hunger. Pretty smart choice in my opinion. Battle Hunger would just be a waste of mana in the end. This is the problem with Battle Hunger. This was often complaint with Battle Hunger before it got buffed. It's just that if you knew how to last it, you could just easily dispel that. So he picked up the Berserker's Call rather than that, and now he's just going to be a bit more aggressive, just going to rush in with the Berserker's Call, try to get some counter helix procs. I still expect him to go Bottle Crowate, and instead of spamming his mana on Battle Hunger, just spam it through Berserker's Call. But he really has to run up to the Shadow Fiend and get into position in order for that to be very effective. But Shadow Fiend is slowly but surely picking up the souls, and now he's going to be extremely difficult to lane against. And Axe did not get that last hit, unfortunately for him. Meanwhile, Shadow Fiend is just slowly but surely picking his way up. Looks like Axe has picked up 1 point to each spell. Maybe just 1 point to Battle Hunger to harass it. I don't think he'll max it, because it's just not going to be useful against Shadow Fiend. But Battle Hunger, of course, can be cast on multiple targets, and every target you cast it on gives Axe an additional 4% or 8% increase in the move speed, so he can chase more effectively. Meanwhile, enough about the Axe Shadow Fiend lineup. I think Shadow Fiend has control of the lane after that. We're going to have Ancient Apparition protecting the DK on the spot lane. 10 and 5 so far, very well, is Byabas. So DK getting a lot of farm and Shadow Fiend controlling his lane. This is going pretty okay for Badburn. Unfortunately, Axe is taking a lot of damage. Will Puck come in from the reinforcement? No. Puck, unfortunately, was driven back completely by the top lane. Naga Siren getting absolutely free farm as well. Meanwhile, Sand King and Rubik just going to try to pick up whatever experience they can. Windrunner is jungling. Windrunner is jungling. You can do this. This is possible in a Dota game. But it's not like he's facing a tri-lane in the bot lane. It's not like, well, Ancient Apparition DK is pretty potent dual lane, so I can see why she would be a bit scared. Maybe she's going to try to pick up some levels in Windrun, get some levels in Power Shot before she migrates to that lane. But until then, DK is just going to have a grand old time last hitting, and Ancient Apparition is perfectly content to pick up level 6 in the dual lane. Meanwhile, Earthshaker is still on one. The poor lonely roaming cow has not been able to have too much fun, as this pull is just really... This is how you pull some creeps. Dang, these creeps have been alive forever. So nicely done by PLL, knowing that, okay, I'm not doing the best in that lane, so I might as well own up the jungle lane. Meanwhile, Axe is having a decent time in the mid lane, but looks like Shadow Fiend has picked up level 4, and we're going to see the battle crowing commence. And overall, the map control is going clear favor to iZone. They have controls over the runes. Their supports are roaming, but I don't think Badburn care. They definitely have the better late game, and as long as their carries get farmed up, I think they got this in the bag. But we're going to see how iZone fights it out. They definitely have a pretty powerful mid-game lineup, and if Naga builds appropriately, she can become a very potent late-game hero. You know, Puck is level 1. has the illusionary orb, is picking up level 2, so she'll have that phase shift. Here comes the ensnare, and here comes the illusionary orb. Will Sand King follow it up for the burrow strike? Here comes the telekinesis, and Puck is going to be the first blood. Fade Bolt picking up the last hit, and now it looks like Naga Siren, along with the help of the winner, they're going to go for early game push, knowing that, okay, late game we get outclassed, even though Naga is a very strong late game hero. All our the heroes don't transition nearly as well. So we're just going to go for fast pushing, turn on their new facilities, and take down your early tier 1 tower. So nice gameplay by iZone, really destroying the Puck in this top lane. And Puck needs so much experience. It doesn't need too many items, but just needs a crap ton of experience in order to be truly effective. So let's see how Badburn decides to respond to this. Will they keep pushing? Looks like that might be what they're going for. They are going to keep pushing. Naga Siren is level 5 already. What's the CS? 25 and 4. So over 5 CS per minute, or around 5 CS per minute. And looks like Windrunner and the Sand King are going to back up, try to roam a bit more. Meanwhile, Axe is going to be harassed a bit more. H-Snapper transition to mid lane. Tried to get off a gank, most likely. But Xiaofeng does not have any supporting disables to help him out, and Xiaofeng being oh so kind to let H-Snapper still has it, so he won't be harassed all the way back to base, but he might go back anyway. Meanwhile, DK has picked up low 1 level to Dragon Blood, had picked up Strength Treads as well, so he should be fine in the lane. Meanwhile, Naga, Ring of Assist is still on, and Sand King is going to keep supporting that, so this top tier 2 tower is going to be in a lot of danger, as looks like Fisher's going to block off the Rubik. Here comes the Cold Feet, and Ancient Ambition and Puck are going to be able to pick up the kill. Looks like Jutan migrated in from the mid lane to pick up that kill on the isolated Rubik. Forever alone Rubik left to his fates, and Puck desperately picks up some much needed experience and levels. Meanwhile, Xiaofeng is going to migrate back to the lane, try to control the lane a bit more against the Axe, but Axe has a clear level advantage on him now, and he's going to be pretty deadly. If Axe runs up next to him, gets a Berserker's Call, and just gets a couple of procs, he can just Culling Blade him, chop off Nevermore's head. Meanwhile, Winner 7-1 has picked up a decent number of neutral kills, although they were pretty low-leveled creeps here, and this camp, of course, does not spawn too many high-level creeps that give you the best amount of gold, so probably is wanting in the gold department. As we're going to see Dragon Knight go on the offensive against Winner, and here comes a Fire Breath, and that 400 range boost on the Dragon Tail when in Elder Dragon form is just such a huge buff to Dragon Knight. It just becomes such a scary initiator, and it's such a scary ganker, and such always around here, so he has reinforcements through the teleport scrolls. One of the biggest things in the early game is just to stay near a tower so you can get reinforcements. Too often I see players fight here, or just like here. I'm just like, guys, I can't teleport in to help you. What are you doing? Meanwhile, Axe is just going to farm up the jungle for a little bit, as Dragon Knight is going to transition mid lane. I think they want to push down this middle tower. They certainly can clear creeps extremely quickly on the back of Shower Rays and the Fire Breath by the Dragon Knight. Level 8 already for that Dragon Knight. 1600 golden bank. What is he saving for? Is probably going to go for that very fast Lothar's Edge. Definitely not too uncommon to see that, as Dragon Knight picks up the illusion. Might go on the offensive for the Axe, as we're going to see Brown go for the engagement, and Puck just orbs out in the nick of time. Unfortunately, the Ensnare could not catch the Puck. Nets cannot hold a Fairy Dragon back, but meanwhile, nothing can hold this Axe back from killing the Xiaofeng. Picks up that Musuzi bonus on the back of Culling Blade, and maybe they'll pick up the Dragon Knight as well, but Dragon Knight is very tanky at this point in the game. Does Sand King have enough mana? Does not have enough mana for another Burrow Strike, and Winter is just taking a lot of damage herself. Unfortunately, the Battle Hunger is just slowing down Dragon Knight immensely, as long as wearing out a lot of that damage. So Winter did fall to the Earthshaker and the Dragon Knight, and now Dragon Knight is going to have to force to retreat, but that's fine. He's just going to farm up the top lane now and just be a happy dragon. The only thing scarier than an angry dragon is a happy dragon, because, you know, if he's happy, then, you know, things just are not going well for your team. You know, H-Snap has picked up the level 6, has probably picked up boots, or has 700 gold in the bank, so he can pick up boots anytime he wants. Meanwhile, Dragon Knight has 1800 gold in the bank, so one of the builds I like to do in public games, and this is just me personally, it's not the Pinoy build, which is go for Lothar's Edge into whatever the heck he wants, probably BKB, and then damage Assault Curious after that, Helmet Dominator. But one of the builds I like to go with Dragon Knight, just because he gets so tanky so quickly, is just go for fast radiance if I'm farming very well, because the opponents are going to have to focus you because of that radiance damage, and it's going to be so difficult to bring you down. Meanwhile, Ice Blast is going to come in. Can they get the Fire Breath to follow up? Puck, nice burst damage being chained up. Unfortunately, Dragon Knight did not cast the Fire Breath. It was trying to save it for the chaos. That might cost them the Axe kill. It will cost them the Axe kill, and Sand King is going to run away in the nick of time. Meanwhile, Nico follows, so Puck is going to be the next survivor. A little bit greedy by the Dragon Knight, trying to pick up the last hit and let the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast not do a lot of the damage to shatter the axe. But meanwhile, Rubik is going to get killed by this Dragon Knight. One more hit, the Shackle Shot unfortunately does not latch onto the Dragon Knight, so Rubik is going to be the next one to fall, feeding the Sentinel side, splitting the gold evenly, and that's going to be the end of that engagement. And right now, just one tower down. Badburn, they're looking okay. Oh, 2 towers down, sorry. But just 2 towers, and they still have all the towers necessary for a Roshan engagement, if it comes to that. And I expect them to defend these towers much more aggressively than the other towers, as Sand King is just going to take a bit of cold feet damage. Level 4 is going to try to pick up the level 5. And this is sometimes where I see a little bit of a fall in the Pinoy tri-lane versus tri-lane situation, and just tri-lane situation overall. Heroes like Sand King, heroes like Shadow Demon, heroes like Ancient Apparition, they just become so much more useful when you pick up a lot of experience. Ancient Apparition, he's not the best late game hero, but he's such a menacing mid game force. Once you get tanky enough, you can outlast the Sand King, and once you get a pipe, you can outlast that Epicenter pulses. So I don't really think, and Shadow Demon is just probably one of the best gankers in the game. Unfortunately, Battle Hunger is doing a lot of damage to the Shadow Fiend. He's gonna have to back that out. But Shadow Demon, he picked up the Claymore, so he's gonna go for the Lothar's Edge himself. So that Battle Hunger actually did a lot of damage to that Shadow Fiend. So Mass Lothars might be the build. Note Vanguard is the next item for the Dragon Knight. But yeah, that's one of the problems I see in the Pinoy tri-lane matchup, and that's why a lot of teams have been in the tri-lane matchup unless you're protecting a really, really hard late game carry, like a Spectre or like a Phantom Lancer or something like that. It's because support heroes just become so useful with experience, and heroes like Ancient Apparition, Shadow Demon, and Sand King just really need a lot of experience in order to be truly effective, as unfortunately no creeps can help channel that Dragon Knight, but it looks like they tried to go for an illusion block on the back, and one more Calling Blade will be able to pick up the kill. Can Naga pick up the last hit? Naga, you're blocking the axe! Huge misplay! Oh, but they get the snare. My yelling was not going to do... That was a little bit of premature yelling right there, as I thought Dragon Knight might have been able to escape, but snare, pretty short cooldown. I think it might be 12 seconds for a 5-second movement speed duration, but loss. I'm not too sure. But pretty good spell. You know, Puck after abysmal time on that top lane is slowly but surely trying to inch himself back in the game, almost level 7, where he has a max illusionary orb. And if he picks up Blink Dagger, that's pretty much all he needs after that. After that, he'll be able to survive battles and just slowly but surely pick up gold through the form of assists and ganks and just being in the midst of all that engagement. So, yep. You know, Shadow Fiend still has the Claymore, and the Bracer has picked up the bottle as well. They're going to try to push down this tower on the back of the double Dantron on the axe. Can Badburn take this? This is a tower pretty important to the Roshan Edge, and Sand King just teleports in with the Burrow Strike. A couple more hits. Can he survive? Looks like Dragon Knight is going to pick up the last hit, and Shadow Fiend is going to get Calling Bladed by the axe, but here comes Puck with the Dream Coil, and the Ancient Apparition Cold Feet is going to completely proc. So nice chain stun, double kill being picked up by the Dragon Knight. So Biabas getting very far and very fast. 60 CS. His CS is certainly slowed down. He had 46 at 7 minutes, but since then he's only picked up 14, but has been involved in a lot of kills for himself. He is 4-1-2, so he's getting a lot of gold that way. Meanwhile, you can just see the farm advantage is going clearly in favor of Badburn this time, unlike in the last game where Panda and the Templar Assassin were just getting a lot of farm. Only Naga's picking up the farm for the iZone squad in this game, and only 2 heroes are farming well on Badburn's side, but 2 heroes are always better than 1. Meanwhile, Winner is going to try to finish up the mechanism as soon as possible. Still decent far away from that. I'm sure if they managed to pick off this mid tower, she'd be well on her way to finishing up that mechanism, but unfortunately for her, that mid tower was not to be had by her. Meanwhile, a massive creep stack stacked for the Shadow Fiend, and Earthshaker is going to steal a lot of experience this way. This is something you should always do, and a lot of players in Dota 2 Publics even now do this. Just support stack the waves for the carry, and carries just farm it up. Give a lot of experience to the support as a reward, and everybody wins on your team if you do that, so just keep that in mind, guys. You know, the bottom tier 1 tower is going to be pushed. This tower is pretty useful in terms of Roshan, but still not the biggest, most important tower in the world. I think what might concern Badburn rather than the Roshan positioning is that they're giving up a lot of tower gold in the form to iZone, and they're going to pick up a lot of items that way, and they have pretty good teamfight ultimates. They have overall a decent mid game. If Axe picks up a Blink Dagger, which is still quite a fair distance away, and looks like Badburn is going to try to push down this middle tower in exchange. Glyph is popped. Will iZone reinforce this? They have the Axe coming in, going to Battle Hunger the Age Apparition, but looks like he picked up a last hit. Going to Battle Hunger the Dragon Knight as well. Shadow Fiend does have the Lothar's Edge, got the initial damage boost, and they're going to try to throw down a lot of damage on the Axe, but looks like Axe escapes by the skin of his teeth. Battle Hunger going to be casted on the Dragon Knight, but unfortunately Sand King tastes the fall, and this tower is going to be forfeited. Dragon Knight should try to get the last hit, and yes, Sentinel picks up the last hit, overall giving you a much bigger gold advantage. Naga Siren comes in through the reinforcement, he gets the Song of the Siren off, cancels it, going to get an immediate kill on the Dragon Knight. May should have waited to cast his Ensnare, but it looks like Don managed to pick up a last hit. That H apparition picked off a double kill as Puck comes in with the Dream Call, and now Naga Siren is going to be a lot of trouble. Lothar's Edge is going to give Shalfin a lot of move speed, and Juton picks off Kel, the Rubik player. Naga is going to have to back the heck out, has Phase Boots and Vanguard, so she'll be a-okay. So Badburn picking up a tower and several kills during that engagement, only losing the Dragon Knight, which you never really want to do at any point in the game. But still, 3 for 1 and a tower, always good for you. Meanwhile, Lothar's Edge for Shalfin going to give him a lot of mobility, so he can run around a lot faster and farm faster that way. So Lothar's Edge, definitely a decent item in some situations. Of course, it's not the best item in every situation, but in terms of mobility, in terms of just getting to lanes faster, if you TP scrolls on cooldown, or if you're trying to farm away, and most importantly, if you're farming in enemy territory and you know that they're going to teleport in eventually, you can just get the heck out a lot faster that way, and then farm in the jungle while not spending enough money on the teleport scroll. So that's one of the advantages for the Lothar's Edge. And of course, you get that additional backstab bonus when you get that initial hit off, which is why we see a lot of carries pick it up for the Filipinos. You know, Axe is going to try to lay siege to this tower, has Sentry Ward, so in case they see the Nevermore charge in on the back of that Lothar's Edge, Axe will be ready. He ain't going to be caught sleeping anymore. Unless not, well, good thing Naga Siren is on his team. So, hopefully they can catch them sleeping as Puck blinks in. Dream Call, this Puck is just really becoming a problem for the iZone squad as Fissure blocked the accident completely. So this tower is going to remain alive. Meanwhile, Naga's going to try to pick up as much farm as she can. 1k gold away from that relic. Meanwhile, Puck is getting ever so close to that Blink Dagger, only about 800 gold away. Ancient Apparition has an Urn of Shadows. It looks like Shalfin is building towards that BKB slowly but surely. So overall, the items on Pacific.Badburn are not too impressive, but they're slowly starting to get there. They're getting all the essentials. I mean, we got the Lothar's Edge, and we got the Vanguard up on the DK, and he's building towards his own Lothars. Meanwhile, I'll be interested to see if iZone picks up a gem carrier for themselves. And right now, you can just see from the scoreboard, iZone is at a huge disadvantage. They have their level of disadvantage is just becoming more and more difficult to match up against. And I still maintain Pacific.Badburn has a better late game, even though Naga is getting very dangerously close to becoming extremely, extremely dangerous. So just overall in terms of the map positioning, we see the Juton farming the bot lane. He hasn't been farming as well as other Shalfins usually have. I mean, Shalfin is one of those heroes that if you don't get 100 CS by 20 minutes, you're doing something wrong. And unfortunately, he's been taking a lot of fights, taking a lot of hits, and he's 3-2, so that's not too bad. Meanwhile, it looks like Sand King is going to Burrow Strike up on the Shalfin. We have Rubik and Windrunner coming in from the rear. Here comes the epicenter. Shalfin pops the Lothar's Edge, which got just delivered onto that courier, but unfortunately, Shalfin did expire, and sorry, I did not mean to get just delivered to that courier. We saw that in a couple of engagements previously. I just had a momentary brain fart. Meanwhile, it looks like YHN, the Axe player, died in the meanwhile, so 14-7, trading kills, and right now trading kills is not what iZone needs to do. They need to get a group going, go for the initiation, and try to push down a tower. They've only taken down one tower. Meanwhile, Badburn, with their superior late game, has taken one tower as well, and right now you can see that the map control is just completely being dominated by the Badburn squad. They've only lost this top tier 1 and top tier 2 towers, which are not really too essential in terms of overall map positioning. As we see a migration of Badburn heroes towards that top lane. They want to get a gank on this Naga Siren. She smells something is up, and she already has the relic, and she has 200 gold in the bank, so she will be about 1100 gold from finishing that completed raids. And once they get that, they might be able to start going for some pushes. Or maybe they're going to wait till Naga gets even more tanky. May they decide, okay, we're not doing so well in this early game, let's try to wait until we get all the items we need before we start getting that. Maybe a Blink Dagger up on Axe, Blink Dagger up on Sand King. How far away is Sand King from that Blink Dagger? Still miles away, about 1700 gold away from finishing that Blink Dagger. So he's not going to be able to pick it up anytime soon, and that's going to be a pretty big deal with the initiation. When you have Axe Blink in, you really want to have that Sand King follow up with some sort of Epicenter, and then get the combination with the Rubik and all that. But unfortunately, with the no Sand King Blink Dagger in the near future, it's going to be pretty difficult for iZone to get a powerful enough initiation. As you see a Smoke of Deceit being popped, and unfortunately, that is a Pacific.Badburn war, so they knew that that was a big misplay by Sand King. Badburn now knows that the enemy team has smoked up, so they're probably going to play a bit more defensive or group up. As we're seeing right now, it looks like they're going to make an attempt on Winner's life. Will she die in this assassination attempt? But Fissure comes in. Here comes the Ice Blast. Jutan picks up the last hit with the Shadow Rays, and now Badburn has many heroes in position to get this first bottom tier 1 tower, as Waning Rift was the skill picked up by the Spell Steal, unfortunately enough for the Rubik. Meanwhile, Dragon Knight, without Radiance, he's not really too threatened by the Naga Illusion, so right now it's going to be a 4v3 engagement at this tier 1 tower. Can iZone find it in them to defend this? Axe is charging in, but can he charge in, kill everybody? Look at how much damage that Xiaofeng is pumping out. It looks like Axe might melt in the blink of an eye. Ice Blast, and Nico just doing a lot of damage. Nico picks up the kill on YHN. And Badburn, they're going to keep rolling with it. They picked off 2 heroes right now, and looks like the Windrunner has been able to revive, but she won't be able to help out in the defense too much. I mean, right now Power Shot won't be doing too much damage. Shackle Shot will be pretty effective, but you don't have too much follow-up damage. And meanwhile, it looks like a nice job by Badburn just completely utilizing that Blink Dagger and the Ice Blast whenever they're off cooldown just to go in. And Ice Blast is just becoming the name of the game. Every time it's off cooldown, Badburn just jumps on the opposing team and Ice Blast somebody, get initiation off with the puck, get some Shadow Razors, and just immediately kill a person. So right now they're really utilizing this Ancient Apparition pick to their advantage, which is something I love to see. I always maintain that Ice Blast is one of the top 5 ultimates in the game. In my top 5 ultimate list, I think I had Ravage, Black Hole. I don't know if I had Echo Slam, but I had Ice Blast in there. And I forget the other one, so... But it doesn't really matter at this point. Shackle Shot does not latch on to Dawn. He's going to try to retreat. Windrunner is running away to get that slow up on the Ancient Apparition. But Puck blinks in with the Illusionary Orb and the Silence. Unfortunately, the Ice Blast does whiff this time, but Sand King's going to take the fall anyway as Nico picks up the kill with the Dream Coil. Here comes Earthshaker, going to try to block off the Windrunner. One more hit will kill Dawn, but no, Dawn's going to be able to escape just fine. Mechanism is popped by the Windrunner. She might be able to get out. Yes, Dream Coil is on cooldown, so... Fortunately for Nico, or fortunately for Dawn, he managed to teleport out, so that Power Shot completely whiffed. And all the while, Xiaofeng is just continuously harassing this Axe. Now we see Xiaofeng's farm starting to pick up pretty dangerously. He's going to be able to finish that BKB relatively soon, in a couple more minutes. 200 gold in the bank, so I'm guessing he's about 1100 gold away from finishing that complete BKB. Nope, already has it in the bank, and now I can start becoming a bit more scary. Might continue to hold on to those boots to go for late game boots of travel. If it finds that, okay, we're losing some momentum, let's try to do some pushing in some other lanes with boots of travel Xiaofeng. Or may I finish trades and go for some big damage. I'm not really too sure. I haven't watched too many Badburn Xiaofeng games, but this is a pretty common pick for Badburn these days, along with Techies. So Badburn making interesting picks work out all the time. Right now, what does iZone need to do to get back in this game? Well, they need Naga to join team fights. And looks like once she picked up the Radiance, that's exactly what they're doing. And notice how Naga's always sending her illusions at the Puck, and right now Puck is just getting so much damage. It's going to have to retreat to the base. No bottle to regen up. So he's going to have to retreat to the base before she can do any sort of initiation. Nope, bottle ships in on the Crow. Meanwhile, YHN does once again. Axe takes the fall with the Ice Blast and the Fissure. This long range initiation, 900 range on that Shadow Rays, plus around 250 AoE. Then the Fissure, 1200 AoE, Ancient Apparition, Ice Blast, just ridiculous range. But looks like Dawn might take the fall. He's going to get a Burrow Strike, a couple more hits, but the Fissure is coming in for the block. Can they get the kill on Dawn? Sand King's going to be able to get the Burrow Strike in a bit more, but looks like Urn is charging up, and a nice Juke not able to cancel Urn. A couple more hits. Fade Bolt is going to get the kill, so Kel picks up that kill, but an Ancient Apparition for an Axe. I think Badburn are okay with this trade as Puck blinks in with the Dream Coil. Here comes the Wing Rift. Xiaofeng pops the BKB, not threatened about too much. Here comes the Fissure, and a couple more hits. Raze is going to be able to kill one more hit on Kel. We'll be able to bring him down. Can they get enough move speed to kill Kel? Kill Kel, that's the name of the game. Lothar's Edge is popped, one more hit, just does ridiculous amount of damage, but now Shalfien's going to be in a lot of trouble. Another defensive fissure nicely blocking off the Shalfien. Lothar's Edge will be cooling down relatively soon, but unfortunately, Berserker's Call goes right through that. Shackle Shot just being too much, such a ridiculous spell. Stunning that Shalfien for an eternity, combined with Berserker's Call, literally held him in place for 7 seconds. Ian with the nice defensive fissure cutting off the access from the iZone reinforcement. So 21-10 is the score. Shalfien taking the fall. So 2 for 2 in that exchange. And overall, I think iZone are happy with that trade, but they don't want to be making trades. They want to be winning these fights and getting enough map control to get these towers. But unfortunately, when you're losing trades, even trades are always a good thing. Right now, they really need this Axe to start proving his worth. I haven't seen Axe be too effective in these last games, as Earthshaker managed to find a Blink Dagger out of nowhere, blinks in with the Fissure, Echo Slam, and Winter is going to be in a lot of trouble. Puck blinks in, trying to cut off that escape route, as Winter has a gem, so if she dies, that's going to be a huge loss. Unfortunately, Fissure is not going to be casted in time. So Earthshaker picking up that Blink Dagger, completely surprised that initiation, killing the Axe in a blink of an eye, and that's what Blink Daggers do. In the blink of an eye, you can get the initiation off and just go to town. Go ham on these iZone players. Meanwhile, DK is just going to farm it up. Is very close to his own Lothar's Edge, so Mass Lothar's gem by Winter is going to be pretty effective, but that is if she survives. And fortunately, she's getting pretty survivable. Pretty close to finishing that 4-staff. Reaver on the way to the Naga. So Naga picking up the Reaver. Looks like they're going to go for a late game. This is going to be interesting because Naga has not been as potent a late game carry ever since her Riptide has been switched with her Critical Strike, and Saga of Siren is not able to use his backdoor. But she's still very dangerous. She's a natural illusion hero. Her illusions get pretty tanky. I mean, she throws out a lot of damage. She has a minus armor skill. So she's pretty strong in the late game. But I think against the Shalfien and a DK, she might be outpressed. DK picks up a Hyperstone rather than going for the finished Lothar's Edge. Let's just check out the overall levels. Levels going in clear favor of the Badburn side. You can see iZone still 2 heroes, not even level 11, so no level 2 ultimates for the Sand King nor the Rubik. Meanwhile, Biabas is farming very well, still 3.8k gold in the bank, 3.6k gold in the bank. So he'll be able to finish up the Lothar's Edge, or he might just be staying for a full AC. He'll be able to finish the full AC in a couple more creeps. So with that, it's going to be pretty dangerous for the iZone squad to engage this Badburn juggernaut that's going to be steamrolling towards their way. And DK has picked up that oh so important level 16. Here comes the Frost Epicenters barreling down the path to counteract the Sand King weak little wimpy Epicenters that are coming down this way. And this is why I don't really understand Sand King in the Pinoy scene. He's always seen in the tri-lane or as a roamer played as a hardcore support. But he's not one of those heroes. He becomes pretty much useless in the late game if he doesn't get early enough farm. I mean, Epicenter just does no damage as opponents get stronger and stronger as they get tankier and tankier. And if the opponents pick up pipes, then Sand King becomes pretty much irrelevant. And if he doesn't get a Blink Dagger, I mean, I think they're giving the Sand King farm too little too late. I don't really know why he's getting this farm right now. I mean, it's still less than 30 minutes, but still, you want to have that Blink Dagger if you're the Sand King. 400 gold away, so he'll be able to pick it up in a couple more waves, which I guess they want to get that before the next team fight. May get the level 11 on the Sand King as well. That is a prudent move by iZone, but I'm not sure if that will change the tides necessarily. Meanwhile, Shalfien has indeed picked up the Boots of Trial to allow for easier pushing, as I think Badburn just have overall map dominance. They can go for Roshan anytime they want. Earthshaker ultimate will be up very soon. Ancient Apparition just doing his job, popping that Ice Blast whenever possible to get an easy gank. Ancient Apparition Earthshaker is such a deadly combo. I'm surprised we don't see it in more Dota 2 games, but I guess you really want the Ancient Apparition to get experience. Meanwhile, we see the Sand King being caught out of position once again. Fissure blocking in, Dragon Tail chain stunning it down. Sand King is going to be denied his Blink Dagger for so much more, as this Sand King pick is just not working out in either of these games. Meanwhile, AC is finished by the Dragon Knight. Smoker to see is popped. Will they go on the offensive? Will they catch Axe in the jungle? Let's see how YHN is farming as the Robe of the Magi. Might be going for a Blade Mail. Let's just see how much gold he's saving up. 300 gold in the bag, but I think he has more items on the Crow. Yep, he's going to go for that Blade Mail to allow him to tank initiate a little bit longer. but Naga's just being very annoying by constantly pushing out the waves with the illusions and saying, okay, we can't take this fight, so we're still too weak, so we'll just constantly push out the waves with the Radiance and the illusions and just do damage. But unlike other teams, Filipino teams don't necessarily defend their towers until they absolutely need to. As the Earthshaker Giant Team fight happens in the midst of all this, Xiaofeng channels a huge Requiem of Souls as A&M takes a fall along with even. Looks like Axe is gonna pop the invisibility rune that he had in the bottle. Shackle Shot catching the Xiaofeng, but unfortunately he's invisible. There is a Gem of True Sight on the winner. Here comes the Dragonite doing so much damage through the power of the Lothar's Edge and the Assault Cures. 4 for nothing, complete steamrolling of the iZone squad. Badburn just looking so dominant at the moment. Only person who didn't die was the Windrunner. No. The Axe. The Axe did not die. And that's pretty odd because Axe is your frontline tank, but iZone just got jumped on. And Earthshaker and all these forms of initiation just becoming too big of a problem for iZone to deal with. And right now it looks like Badburn are going to take this series to a game 3, but it is still not over. Naga Siren is still one of those dangerous late game carries that can turn the tides of the battle any time of the game. Meanwhile, Axe might be initiated on by the Dragonite, but no, it looks like Earthshaker is just going to back the heck off to away. Will they get the rocks at the very least? Yes, one more hit by the puck will bring down the rocks. Sand King misses the Burrow Strike. Nothing is going right for the Sand King player. Very unfortunate game for him. As Badburn take their victory, got a full team wipe besides the Axe, got the Rex, didn't lose anybody. A flawless victory for them. Only thing it could have gotten better is that if they kill the Axe, kill the Roshan at the same time, and just kill the Fountain at the same time as well. That's the only way it could have went any better for the Badburn squad. Slowly but surely the gold, if there was a gold graph, I'm sure it would be over 15k in favor of Badburn. They are out farming, out leveling, out killing, out pushing the iZone squad. iZone is still dying. Naga Siren farming very nicely, 233 CS with the Heart of Tarrasque. Will they go for the Roshan attempt? This might be what they need to get themselves back in the game. Naga with an Aegis will be very difficult to stop. Will Badburn realize there are no wards marking the Roshan territory for the Badburn squad? So it looks like this Roshan will go relatively uncontested. Naga Siren just does a lot of damage. Blade Mail being popped to do a bit of extra damage to the Roshan for 3.5 seconds. Always a good thing to do. Blade Mail does work on Rosh. Focus Fire, bring down that Roshan, and now Aegis will go to the Naga, so she'll have enough gold to buy another tier 4 item in about a couple minutes. So with that, they might be able to get themselves back in the game, provided they get some form of initiation, which I don't really think they have. Sand King still has yet to pick up his Blink Dagger, still 500 gold away from finishing that Blink Dagger, so how will iZone initiate this? I guess they're going to have to rely on Saga of the Siren, which isn't really the safest form of initiation because that requires Naga charging in the midst of all that, and Earthshaker always positioning himself way out of line so that he can jump in with the Echo Slam as Naga Illusion's going to be taken down. Badburn, they looks like they want to go for the Jugular, but their lanes are being pushed dangerously. Fortunately, the mid lane will be pushing naturally for the Badburn squad. Meanwhile, those Naga Illusions just canceling the Xiaofeng, or harassing the Xiaofeng down. He might have to retreat back to the base. I don't know if Badburn should take this fight, but I'm sure Xiaofeng will just wait for his bottle to ship in. No, he's going to defend the bot lane. Probably the smart move. But still, every moment gives the iZone a chance to climb back in the game. Sand King will have his Blink Dagger for the next engagement. Meanwhile, Earthshaker, has he picked up any items? No. 1700 gold on the bank. Might pick up a point booster, go for an Aghanim Scepter. Xiaofeng has just teleported in, so this might be iZone's chance to make a move on the Badburn squad. No. Looks like Badburn popped their Lothar's Edge and popped their map awareness to just get the heck out of there. Noticing, okay, we're missing one of our major damage dealers, and they're missing their Sand King. Big whoop. So Badburn making the prudent move, which is to back the heck out of the way. Meanwhile, Xiaofeng is just continuing to farm. He's 9 and 4, ridiculously farmed, 1700 gold in the bank. Might be able to pick up his next item very soon. Ghost Scepter is going to go for the Ethereal Blade. No, Ghost Scepter is for the Ancient Apparition most likely. Anti-Style, fully complete for the Xiaofeng, is going to be able to sell his bottle or drop it and just pick up that Manta Style nonetheless, or sell his Bracer. Yep, just going to continue with Bottle Crow. And that's really what the bottle is for. You don't really need to hold on. You can just keep it on the Crow, regen up, and then switch it out. So, still, Bottle Crow, very, very relevant, and even in the late stage of the game. especially for a flash farmer like the Xiaofin, who always uses so much mana on the raises and needs to have enough mana for the Requiem of Souls and the Lothar's Edge mana, which cannot be discounted. Central Reward being popped by YHN now that the gem has been destroyed. Has Badburn picked up the gem themselves? I do not see it anywhere. Dragon Knight, you do not have the gem. Maelstrom being picked up by the Dragon Knight, increasing his DPS by a lot, considering there's no Hooded Defiance, there's no pipe on the iZone squad. This Maelstrom is probably a smart choice than a Desolator, considering that the heroes die so quickly anyway that Desolator won't have the huge DPS increase. Excuse me. Meanwhile, Windrunner's going to try to harass the iZone squad. Sand King blinks in to do nothing. Nicely done. Well played, sir. Ice Blast is going to come in to initiate on the Axe. Axe is going to immediately die once again. Sand King gets a Dream Called, Burrow Strike, Echo Slammed as Nico picks up a double kill. Everything is going in favor of Badburn. Even Dragon Knight is just pushing the top lane with the Maelstrom to allow him quicker access to the pushing. Unfortunately, he couldn't steal the Dragon form. He still Breath of Fire, as one more hit will get killed the Rubik. Will he escape? He will escape just by the skin of his teeth, but here comes the Dragon Tail. 400 cast range. That seems like 600. Such a ridiculous cast range in that Elder Dragon form. Dragon Knight is selected, but he still has well over half the duration on his Dragon form left. Meanwhile, Xiaofin has his ultimate. Will they go on the offensive? Naga Siren has picked up the Diffusal Blade as well, so she's doing a lot of damage. Can Naga Siren kill the Dragon Knight? Yes, she can! So pretty big momentum swing, but unfortunately iZone did lose the middle racks in the midst of all that, and they're going to lose their bottom tier 2 tower, so just killing a Dragon Knight for a couple of towers is not going to be enough to get themselves back in the game. But this Naga is becoming very dangerous, just pumping out so much damage, mana burning illusions, tanky illusions nonetheless, and unfortunately Dragon Knight cannot pick up the kill on Kel, the Rubik player. Let's just check out how much gold Naga has in the bank. 2.1k gold in the bank again, so she'll be able to maybe sell the Vanguard, pick up some sort of crit item, because illusions do get full crit damage, or they get the critical strike damage. They don't get the plus damage that they get from Christos or the Varizo, but they still can crit, so now it will be like, okay, I didn't lose my critical strike ability at all. And it's more damaging crit. It's not as reliable, but it is more damaging than it had been before the change from Riptide to Critical Strike, or Critical Strike to Riptide rather. Meanwhile, Winner picks up a very late game Necro 1, and I'm not a huge fan of this. I guess she wants to pick it up for Necro 3, because there are Lothar's Edge on Badburn just ever present in the Xiaofin and in the Dragon Knight. But this late in the game, I'm not a huge fan of Necro 1. I mean, I'd rather just save up the money to buy a full-out Necro 3 rather than just having Necro 1, because it'll just be food. I mean, 300 pure damage, I think it is. No, it's 200 pure damage for a level 1 Necro book kill is pretty much nothing at this stage in the game. So it's just going to become free 200 gold once you kill the minions. But will Xiaofin be jumped on? They smoked up. Xiaofin has no sense of what is happening, but unfortunately for the iZone squad, there is an invisible Earthshaker to buy Xiaofin sometime. Will Naga Illusions initiate on the Xiaofin? No, they're going to catch off the Ancient Apparition, and now here comes the Epicenter being channeled for the full duration on the puck and the Ancient Apparition. Will this be the comeback that iZone needs? Is this the comeback that they want? Yes, they pick up a double kill on the puck and on the Ancient Apparition, but meanwhile Sand King's going to take the fall. That's okay. He already did his job. He did the Epicenter. So, meanwhile, looks like an Earthshaker tried to go Scepter away, and now Xiaofin's taking a lot of damage. Can iZone make the comeback? Zhutan throwing out a lot of damage in the form of the Xiaofin. Naga Siren takes the fall, and double damage Dragon Knight is the last thing iZone want to see at this stage of the game. Zhutan picks up a triple kill, but it's the Dragon Knight double damage that did a lot of the work. And very unfortunate for the iZone squad. They picked off the Ancient Apparition and the puck immediately, and also killed the Earthshaker as well, but unfortunately they couldn't kill the carries. They are just dealing out too much damage. The item differential becoming too difficult to overcome, and unfortunately that might mark the fall of the iZone squad. They couldn't really have asked for a better initiation. 33 to the 14, Xiaofin teleports in with those booster child to go on that top lane, just split pushing across the sky, and Naga managed to kill the Dragon Knight with the help of the Sand King at the last second. No, didn't get the assist, so rather pretty much solo killed that Dragon Knight, who was a little bit low HP, and meanwhile Naga had that Heart of Trask to regen up. Meanwhile, Xiaofin picks up the bottom tier 3 tower, so even though iZone won that victory. They cannot push because Xiaofin's just being so annoying with his booster travel. Nice job by Zhutan, constantly pushing the map. Picks up the Eagle Horn, gonna go for a Butterfly or maybe a Ethereal Blade. Ethereal Blade might be a wise decision against the damage of the Naga Siren, which is just becoming scarier and scarier. Naga Siren has 3.4k gold in the bank, has bought an item. Finish the Vlads. Alright, it'll give you some anti-push. I mean, he's definitely knows that illusions don't lifesteal, but I think any bit of anti-push that they can muster up will give them some form of security and try to get some map control to go for the next Roshan, because I think that's what they're waiting for. iZone, that is. They're really waiting for the next Roshan to go in and just try to get the Aegis, get some map control, and go in for a suicide push for the mid lane with the next Aegis. And unfortunately, in the last engagement, the Aegis did die. It'll be a little bit before the Roshan respawns. And unfortunately, a little bit, it might not be the most amount of time in the world for iZone to have. Looks like they're grouping up 5 mid. They want to get another smoke gank up. Yes, they're popping the smoke to see. Can they catch anybody unawares? I think Badburn are starting to wise up from the smoke ganks of iZone. And still, these smoke ganks are not turning the tide all too much. 4 for 3, 2 for nothing. Just not really going to get themselves back in the game. Still 33 to 15. So, can they initiate on the Badburn squad? Dragon Knight positioning himself nicely. Picked up the full-on Mjolnir. Just going to do a lot of damage. Necro 3 up for the puck. Going to counteract that. Butterfly going to go for Helmet Dominator. Lifesteal for the Xiaofin. Everybody's pretty much almost maxed out. I mean, Earthshaker has Ghost Scepter, pretty much all he needs. Ancient Apparition has Medallion Courage, going to increase his DPS of his carries by a lot. And has the Drums of Endurance. Just everybody on the Badburn squad are so stacked. Meanwhile, Rubik has Jack All. Windrunner still has Necrobook level 1. Sand King has pretty much been a non-factor. And Naga is stacked, but Nagas alone do not win the game. So will Badburn go for the finishing blow, or maybe they're going to wait for the next Roshan as well. Or they're most likely trying to wait for iZone to make a mistake themselves so they can just go in for the kill. Because if Badburn makes a mistake, they still have a lot of security, they have a lot of towers up. They can't get immediately racks unless the bottom lane is pushed out a lot. And I think Badburn have enough for buyback. No, Badburn are just spending all their money on items. That might be a little bit foolish, because the one way iZone can get back in is if they win one team fight and then they just push to the base and try to take the throne. And without buyback, that might be a prudent way for iZone to win. So Badburn, they're walking on the edge. I mean, it's a very large edge, to be sure. I mean, it's going to be very unlikely that Badburn are going to get caught out of position or lose the game because they don't have buyback. But it's still a possibility. When you're so far ahead, I think you should just have one safety carry with the buyback. But no, they're just going to go all in, trusting that their item advantage will lead them to victory. Bottom lane is being pushed out, so will they defend that bottom lane once more? I think it might be smart too. Yes, Xiaofin is going to teleport back, finish up his Helmet Dominator, maybe even finish the Satanic. And Roshan has respawned, so it looks like Badburn are maneuvering themselves to get to the Roshan. But iZone has noticed the Roshan has respawned. Will they get in position? Unfortunately, Naga Siren is caught out of the way. Though those are just the illusions. Naga Siren is in the jungle, so they'll be able to reinforce this Roshan very quickly. But meanwhile, Xiaofin is pushing that bottom lane, so he can get to the Roshan extremely fast as well. But Medallion of Courage is just melting this Rosh. Dragon Knight is going to pick up the Aegis. Can Sand King steal it? Sand King steals the Aegis, the Immortal. Huge play as he's going to get Cold Feed. He will be stunned. Will he die? Yes, Ice Blast and a couple of Frost attacks will kill the Sand King. May wasn't as huge a play as I initially exclaimed, because Sand King stealing the Aegis is not the biggest thing in the world, but still pretty funny to see nonetheless. I guess Dragon Knight was just stacked out and he didn't really want to drop any items. I guess he had to drop his TP scroll. But unfortunately, will they get initiation on the winner? Here comes the Frost Episode, so unfortunately Xiaofin was Shackle Shot. Here comes the Bro Strike. Will they cancel the Song of the Siren to let the full damage go through? A couple pulses were wasted. Dragon Knight taking a lot of damage. Will he die? He's just so tanky. He does die. Kelk with the Fire Breath, and here comes Ancient Apparition, gonna die as well. But unfortunately, Naga Siren took the fall. Does Naga Siren have buyback? Does Naga Siren have buyback? He does not have buyback. That's gonna be the end of this game. Jutan picks up a double kill. This Xiaofin just doing so much damage. One more hit. Nico picks up the last hit on the Rubik player. And Naga Siren not having buyback is going to be the nail in the coffin. That Vladimir is offering, just not doing anything. So I guess you have to go for an item, but I don't think Vlad's is the item you want to waste your buyback money on. So that's going to be end of this game. iZone are just going to be completely knocked into game number 3 of this grand finals of the GEST June. So an intense series featuring a lot of unusual picks, and I've heard that game 3 is a thriller, so I will be bringing you that. So please stay tuned. Please keep updated with my stream and my YouTube to get the latest updates, as we're going to see Puck gonna kill this Windrunner as soon as the Dream Coil snaps. Nope, just the auto attack finishes the job. The Rex falls. I don't see any way for iZone to come back from that. They stole the Aegis, they killed the Dragon Knight, and still they couldn't win it. I don't really see any hopes for an iZone comeback in this game. So game 3 promises to be a thriller. I heard it's very, very good. I think it was the game of the tournament, or God said it was at least. So we'll see how that wears out. Everything now is just a formal courtesy. They still have a Naga Siren as a hard carry, but still, I think Badburn, if they want to, they can just suicide to get the win. Don is going to get level 16 on the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast. Just checking out the scoreboard, or I'll put down the final scoreboard at the end of the game when the iZone squad called the official GG. Sorry if I'm seeming a little bit anticlimactic. But just these unusual picks are not working out, except for the Xiaofi, and Axe pretty much has been a complete and utter non-factor. He's been good in the laning, and that's it. 2 games with the Axe pick, and he's been pretty much useless. Sand King in the tri-lane, again, I'm not a huge fan of that. Not a huge fan of that whatsoever. Rubik has just not been able to put out enough damage because he is becoming a trailing hero. Naga, she's a very strong carry, but she cannot solo carry the game, as looks like iZone are going to go in for one last desperation suicide push. Sand King has the ultimates. All the ultimates are on cooldown, but it looks like Xiaofi might just push in the top or the bottom lane. Can they go for the game-winning push? Sand King blinks in. Here comes Saga the Siren, going to disable the Xiaofi. Will they get the initiation? Do they have any detection? Here comes the Berserker's Call. Channeling the Epicenter, going to do full damage to the Xiaofi, taking a lot of damage, but unfortunately he has Helm of the Director, lifesteal a lot. Biabas picks up Light N, and dies to the Jutan. Jutan just doing so much work in this game. Monster kill. Will he die? He will die to the mana burn by Kel. So Rubik picks up the last hit, or yep, through the Fade Bolt, but right now Dragon Knight is just doing all the work. Gonna try to kill this Naga Siren, just doing a lot of damage, and Naga Siren is completely isolated from the rest of the teammates. Echo Slam being dropped just for the Naga, and Dragon Knight 4 for nothing. 4 for 1 Xiaofi with the buyback. So iZone calls the GG. That's gonna be the end of this game. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. I'll bring up the final score screen so you all can see 42-19. Pretty convincing victory overall from Badburn. I never really thought at any point in the game they seemed too threatened. I mean, laning stage they won, mid game they won, late game it was a little bit, they didn't execute to the best of their ability. A lot of smoke ganks by the iZone squad kept them in the game, but still, the item differential, the tower differential, the gold differential was just too much. I mean, when you have 2 hard carries like the Xiaofi and the Dragon Knight gang ridiculously farmed, when you have the Puck gang ridiculously farmed, even Ancient Apparition is higher level than your other 2 supports, and he's been the primary ward along with the Earthshaker. It's going to be a rough game. Meanwhile, Sand King and Axe just not proving to be useful in these games at all. I would be surprised to see if they're picked up by either team in this final match of the best of 3 of the GST June finals. But still, we'll wait and see. So hopefully you all enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching as always, and have a fantastic day.